Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and if you're a regular to this channel, you know that Epic Games have been giving away free Unreal Engine assets the beginning of every month for the past year. Now the catch is, last month, or I guess technically this month, October, they kind of made it sound like this was the last month until they did a news post after the fact saying it will continue, which is awesome. But the problem was that developers, the people that actually worked on the asset store, weren't getting a notification to submit for the next month. So there was some question of what was going to happen with this program going forward. Now, I'm not even sure if we're going to get free assets tomorrow. On November 1st, if we are going to get anything new for this month, it looks like this might be a transitional month. But what they did instead is gave us what they are calling $4 million worth of assets that they created themselves. So let us take a look at all of this. There is a lot to unpack, so without further ado, let us jump in. Now, the page you see in front of you, this is the Unreal Engine free content page. I actually think this is new. I don't think this was around before, but you can see a summary of this month's sponsored content. And when I say this month, I mean buy this, quote, air quotes, buy this today. You can only get this for free for the month it's released, and today being Halloween or October 31st, these will not be free after tomorrow. But every month where these came out, I did a video covering the new free assets. These were last month's free assets or this month's free assets, depending on when you watch this video. And again, if you want them and it's still October, buy them today. All you have to do is add them to your cart, check out. There's no cost involved. These are free assets. Now, one of the things with these sponsored assets is you can only use Unreal Engine assets in Unreal Engine, but you can use them in, if it makes sense, a lot of times it's blueprints and such that would only be useful in Unreal Engine, but these models and assets and such can actually be used in other engines if they are made by companies other than Epic Games. So this is the ongoing sponsorship program. We got some details about it, tons and tons and tons of content. Once you actually purchase it or add it to your library, it is permanent for free, but if you do not get it during the month in question, you do not get it at all. So let's go to the announcement today, where they reaffirmed that the program is going to continue, where they also released $4 million, I'm putting giant air quotes around that, but $4 million of Infinity Blade assets. Now, don't question that they cost $4 million. That's the total developer time and so on for building these. And these came from their video game called Infinity Blade. We'll look at the specific assets in just a minute, but they've given away a bunch of Infinity Blade stuff in the past. This is basically the rest of the assets used to create Infinity Blade are available today. Some pretty high quality stuff in there. $4 million, that's a little hard to say, but that's what, as you can see right here, valued at $4 million in development investment. So this is what they paid their artists and people to make them originally. All right, so you can see up here, over the last 5 years, Unreal Engine Marketplace has become a thriving epicenter for creators who are building assets, tools, and plugins to accelerate the production of high-quality 3D games. A year ago, quite literally, we launched the free Marketplace content initiative that brings new complimentary content to Unreal Engine community monthly, with some free assets for a month and others free on a permanent basis. We are happy to share that more than 400,000 developers have taken advantage of this, with more than 8 million downloads. To be honest, both of those numbers seem a little low to me. And they're going to keep doing it, which is pretty awesome. So in addition to renewing the program for another year, so there's no commitment beyond a year, but we're going to get at least another 12 months worth of free assets. We are celebrating this milestone with the release of 5 new asset packs from the award-winning Infinity Blade franchise, valued again at $4 million. Along with 7 previously released Infinity packs, these free Infinity Blade assets are now available for use in Unreal Engine projects for free permanently. Now, so the nice thing is there's no time limit on that one. They are just free now. Again, you can only use these particular assets in Unreal Engine projects only. But if you make a commercial game and you're using these assets, you're totally fine with using them, by the way. So I know these are some of the common questions with this program. Going forward, new featured free Marketplace content will be released on the first Tuesday of every month, and the catalog of permanently free assets will continue to grow. So we're not going to necessarily be the first of the month anymore. We're going to be the first Tuesday of the month. Today, that would make it, if it's going to happen next month, that would put it on the 5th of November. But I have a feeling that there is no assets lined up for November. I think the Infinity Blade assets are what you're going to see. But of course, if they do release some assets on November, you know where to check out to find out what they are. Yeah, right here. Hit that subscribe button, notification button, and all that stuff, and you probably will hear about it. And then finally, if you're one of the people that has been contributing to the free Marketplace stuff, there is the Creator Application event, a special sale launching on Tuesday, November the 5th, in recognition of the alumni who contributed to the free content program in its first year. So, great. Basically what this is saying to me is the program is coming back. It may or may not be available next Tuesday. We will find out. It is no longer the first of the month, but instead it's the first Tuesday of the month, which I actually like. It's more consistent, and I don't have to pay as much attention. So that works for me, at least in terms of reporting on this stuff. So now finally, let's get into the new $4 million worth of assets. What do we have here? Well, oops, I'm on the wrong page. We have, I'm basically in the free stuff with the stuff flag for Infinity Blade. You'll see if you go in the past, there was a bunch of stuff from here: blade effects, weapons, firelands, grasslands, warriors, adversaries, and actually, no, that's it. And then now we have 5 new categories of content here. We've got the temple, props, village, hideout, and castle. Now, if you go into any of these, you'll see they're basically a theme of stuff put together from the assets that were used to make Infinity Blade. And there's some pretty amazing stuff in here. So it's all the stuff in a very modular format that you'd use to make a castle level in this particular case. And let me just get out of there, and we will go. So you can scroll through and look at what all those very different assets include. You see down here, like this pack, for example, has 202 meshes in it, 146 materials and instances, 244 textures, anything between 64 by 64 and 2K in size. So we head on back over here. We also have so that was the castle. I don't know why I started at the 5th one. We have the hideout assets. Again, you can see how they're all used together. And this contains, again, around 250 items and 273 textures. We have the props. So we have, I'll zoom in on this one because there's a lot of weird stuff. So basically, billboarded trees, some rocks, rock faces, statues, and so on. Chains coming out of the wall, a pagoda, I think that would be what you'd call that, and so on. So some pretty nice stuff there. You can see it all kind of displayed here. This one contains 236 meshes. Let's head on back over here. So that was props. Why do you keep changing order? Okay, you're making this very confusing. Then we got village right here, and this has got things you would need to create a village, stalls, and so on. And then again, more rock faces and cliffs. And then if we head on back here, okay, this is getting really confusing. They keep changing the order every time I go back. We have temple, and temple is a grand chunk of assets there as well. And at this point in time, I have no idea if I showcase them all because this has changed order every single time I've gone in. We've done castle, we've done props, we've done village. I think we did hideout and we did temple. Just in case we haven't done hideout, I'm going to click on there as well, and that will be all of them. So you can see here, it's a ton of different assets. This one is once again in that 250 mesh range. So 5 packs, 2 to 250 assets apiece. So this is about 1,200 new meshes and probably about the same number of new textures to go with those meshes for making your games in a very, very modular manner. So there is a way that you can actually use this stuff, and it's generic enough that it hopefully doesn't immediately stand out, so it does make it genuinely useful in a game. Or, of course, if you were prototyping, it's nicer to prototype with AAA quality assets than it is with your programmer art. So there is an immediate use there, even if you are not going to be using this in a commercial game. But this whole collection, all of this stuff, these 5 new packs are free forever. So there is no hurry there. But I do have to remind you once again before I finish this video that this month's content right here. These 5 items are only available for the remainder of today. And finally, I have no idea from reading this. I don't know if you have an opinion on how it's read, but in reading this text, I don't have a clue if there is going to be an asset pack this Tuesday or not. Personally, I don't think so. I think these assets from Infinity Blade are this month's free assets. But if there is a bit of a surprise and they do release it, I will definitely cover it. So stay tuned for that. And let me know what you think. It's definitely awesome that we were going to get this monthly program again. First off, I love it. It gives me a great topic for a video every single month. I really wish that they would do that for every day of the month. Makes my job a whole lot easier. But this is always some really interesting stuff in these packs. So we get yet another year of just a huge realm of resources for Unreal Engine. And the kicker is, from these packs, I have gotten a huge amount of stuff here. So we go here. Here's the permanently free collection. And you'll see they've given away a ton of just free for everybody. So even if you weren't paying attention, all of this stuff is available for free forever. And we're looking at, let's see, 3 pages worth of assets that they've given away as part of this program. And then if I look at all of the stuff that I've air quote bought over the year, I have so much stuff to make games with Unreal Engine, except for time. That's the only thing that they haven't given me here. But this program, it really does kind of, it gives you an incentive to check out Unreal. And we're in a world where other game engines are getting to more and more of a feature parity, getting this 5 free things a month thing, especially when that builds up. So if you did that 5 free things all year, you've got 60 assets plus this, 30 or 40 free ones that they've got permanently there. So you got about 100 assets from the asset store that were previously commercial to work with for any of your games. And now we've got another year of that coming up. So I'm personally delighted, but I'd love to hear what you think. I know some of you in the past mentioned that you switched over to using Unreal Engine because of these programs, and I wonder if any of you are on the fence and are paying attention, or are you buying this stuff even though you're not using it like I am? I'd be interested in your opinion. Let me know those things in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.